Okay, so algebraic fractions is our next topic, and I've chosen question 3 to have a look at. It's really important before we start with algebraic fractions that you've had a look at factorising quadratics, because it comes in really useful when we're looking at algebraic fractions and requires a lot of previous knowledge. Okay, so in this question it's asking us to simplify fully this x squared minus 8x plus 15, all divided by 2x squared minus 7x minus 15. Okay, so you can see that on the top and the bottom of this fraction we have quadratics. Okay, we have this x squared, x and a number sort of format. So what we need to do first is when we see a quadratic in an algebraic fraction is we need to factorise it. So let's have a look at the top equation. Okay, we have x squared minus 8x plus 15. Now, hopefully you've watched the factorising quadratics. I'm not going to go into this too much. When we deal with quadratics, we have two brackets, so I can put my two brackets underneath it. At the start, we're going to have an x and an x to get that x squared. And we need to try and find two numbers which times to give 15. Well, I know that 15 and 1, I always start with that one. And we could do 3 and 5, and I don't think there are any more. So what we need to say next is we say, right, which one has a connection between the 8s? Well, I can see that 3 and 5 have a connection, okay? 3 and 5 have a connection to 8. Okay, so this time I'm going to have 3 and 5 are going to go in here. And what I'm going to do is underneath, I'm going to write my 3 and my 5. And can you see here, I want this to equal to minus 8. Okay, so for this to be true, can you see that we've got to have a minus 3 and a minus 5, okay? Because minus 3 minus 5 gives me minus 8, which means that the signs in this bracket are minus and a minus. Perfect, okay, we have factorised the top. Let's have a look at factorising the bottom. So this time we have this 2x squared, oh, we've got this horrible 2x squared one, minus 7x minus 15. Again, quadratic, two brackets. Okay, this time we want to get 2x squared. So I know that there's going to be a 2x on one of the front brackets and an x in the other, because that gives me 2x squared. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at this 15 again. Well, we've already wrote the 15 factors, which are 15 times 1 and also 3 times 5. But now it's difficult for us to tell which one has a connection, okay, mainly because we've got this 2x. So none of these have a connection that we can see to 7. So it's going to be a little bit of trial and error. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to put the 3 here and the 5 here. And to double check what this makes, I'm going to just do my 2x times my 5, which you can see gives me 10x, and my 3 times my x, which gives me 3x. Okay, and we want this to be minus 7x. Oh, this is just lucky that it's the first one we've chosen. Okay, so how can I make this minus 7x? Well, hopefully you can see we're going to have to minus 10x and add 3x. So in front of the 5, we're going to have a negative, because can you see that's the bit that gives us our 10x? That's our minus 10x. And we're going to have plus 3x. Okay, fabulous. Okay, let's just double check that that gives us our minus 15 at the end. So we can times these two numbers together. So 3 times minus 5, brilliant, gives me minus 15. Okay, now I've factorised both the top and the bottom of these equations. The last things that I need to do then is literally just write them out again. So on top, we're going to have x minus 3, x minus 5. And then on the bottom, we're going to have 2x plus 3 and x minus 5. Okay, these are just the factorised forms. So the last thing that we need to do then is you can see that the x minus 5 is going to cancel out with that x minus 5 on bottom. So we're going to be left with our simplified equation, which is x minus 3, all divided by 2x plus 3. Okay, and this is my final answer and the simplified fraction in this question. Okay, please take a look at my other video tutorials and hopefully you can get your head around this. Thank you.